Alexander Grant had everything a man could dream of: wealth that could buy anything, an empire of luxury hotels spanning continents, and a reputation as one of the most powerful business magnates in the country, but none of it could buy what he wanted most: to see his daughter Sophie take her first step. Sophie was 6 years old, beautiful and bright-eyed, with a laugh that could light up a room, but she had been born with a rare neurological condition that left her legs weak and unresponsive. Dozens of doctors had been consulted, the best specialists money could find, therapists flown in from around the globe, experimental treatments tried at staggering expense, but every prognosis was the same: she may never walk. Alexander had thrown himself into work after Sophie's mother died during childbirth, using his endless meetings and trips as a shield against the helplessness he felt. Still, each night he returned to the mansion and saw his little girl in her wheelchair, playing quietly while looking out the window at the other children running in the garden, and a part of him broke. Over the years, nannies came and went, most leaving because they couldn't handle the emotional weight of caring for a child with such a condition. Until one day, a new candidate arrived, Elena Moore. She wasn't polished like the others. Her resume didn't boast degrees from elite universities, but there was something in her eyes: warmth, sincerity, and a quiet confidence that made Alexander pause. Against his usual instincts, he hired her on the spot. From the beginning, Elena was different. She didn't treat Sophie like she was fragile glass. She spoke to her like any other child, made her laugh with silly impressions, and brought a sense of liveliness to the Grant estate that had been missing for years. Alexander noticed, but he assumed it was just her personality. Then came the day that would change everything. Alexander had returned from a meeting earlier than expected, walking through the silent halls of his mansion when he heard faint music coming from the sunroom. Curious, he followed the sound until he stopped in the doorway and froze. Sophie was out of her wheelchair. She was standing, though her legs trembled slightly, holding on to Elena's hands. And they weren't just standing, they were dancing. Slow, careful steps, but steps nonetheless. Alexander's breath caught in his throat. For years he had been told this was impossible, yet here it was, happening before his eyes. Elena's voice was soft but encouraging. "You're doing it, Sophie. Just one more step. There you go. Feel your feet, feel the floor. You're stronger than you think." Sophie giggled. Her face lit up with joy and determination. Alexander stepped forward, his voice almost shaking. How is this happening?" Elena looked up, startled to see him, but she didn't stop. "She's always had the potential, Mr. Grant. She just needed to believe it. And someone to believe in her." She explained that she had been quietly working with Sophie every day, not just in traditional therapy sessions, but in ways that disguised hard work as play-balancing games, water exercises, music that encouraged rhythm and movement. She hadn't told him yet because she wanted to be sure Sophie was truly ready before making promises. Alexander's eyes stung as he watched his daughter take 3 more wobbly but undeniable steps into his arms. For the first time in years, he felt hope surge through him, not the sterile, clinical kind doctors offered, but real hope born from love and faith. Over the next weeks, Alexander saw Sophie change before his eyes. She still needed her wheelchair for longer distances, but each day she stood a little taller, walked a little further. And each day he found himself watching Elena more closely, not just for the miracles she worked with Sophie, but for the way she had quietly become the heart of their home. She was patient yet firm, gentle yet unyielding when it came to Sophie's progress. Alexander began joining their sessions, something he never would have done before, and soon the 3 of them became an inseparable team. But it wasn't just Sophie who was healing. Alexander, for the first time since his wife's death, found himself laughing again, feeling something deep and unfamiliar every time Elena smiled at him. Then, one evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the garden in gold, Sophie took 6 unassisted steps across the lawn and into her father's arms. Alexander looked over her head at Elena, and in that moment, he knew this wasn't just the woman who had helped his daughter walk. This was the woman who had brought life back into their world.